Welcome back, Music Maniacs, to another episode of Gibbs Drops the Needle. I'm Gibbs. It's the end of the week, so we're going to go through the Hot 100 charts and the Billboard 200 charts top 10. So we'll go ahead and get started with the Billboard Hot 100, which is the top songs for this week, the top 10. Starting with number 10, we have Man I Need by Olivia Dean. Last week, this song was at number 7. It's peaked all the way up at number 2 and been on the charts for 43 weeks. At number 9, we have a new song, Honey Bee by Olivia Rodrigo. 9 is, of course, the peak position, and it's been on the list for 1 week. At number 8, we have Hate That I Made You Love Me by Ariana Grande. Last week, this song was number 5. It's peaked all the way up at number 1 and been on the charts for 3 weeks. At number 7, we have Janice STFU by Drake. Last week, this song was number 3. It's peaked at number 1 and been on the charts for 5 weeks. At number 6, we have The Cure by Olivia Rodrigo. Last week, this song was number 17. It's peaked all the way up at 5 and been on the charts for 4 weeks. Number 5, we have Be Her by Ella Langley. Last week, this song was number 4. It's peaked at number 2 and been on the charts for 18 weeks. At number 4, we have Olivia Rodrigo with Drop Dead. Last week, this song was number 13. It's peaked at number 1 and been on the charts for 9 weeks. Number 3 is another new song and another Olivia Rodrigo song. This song is Stupid Song by Olivia Rodrigo. And of course, it's peaked at 3 and been on the charts for 1 week. Number 2, holding that number 2 spot for what it seems like the whole time that we've been going through this top 10, is Choosin' Texas by Ella Langley. Last week it was number 2, as I had mentioned. It's peaked at number 1 and been on the charts for 35 weeks. This is a song that I don't normally listen to a lot of country, as I've stated before, but I had a coworker that he loves listening to country, and I got to ride around with him for the last week or so. And I know our local country station is what seems like constantly playing this song, so I'm sure they're part of the reason it sticks at number 2, because it almost seemed like every couple hours you were hearing this song again. So definitely getting a lot of airplay when it comes to radio play, at least in my location. At number 1, this was your number 1 song last week as well, and it's I Knew It, I Knew You by Taylor Swift. It's been on the charts for 2 weeks now, holding that number 1 spot both weeks. So now for your Billboard 200, which is for the top albums this week. And it is getting interesting because we've been doing the New Music Fridays long enough, and as I mentioned last week, it seems to be the next week after the New Music Friday that these albums and songs are actually making an impact on the list, which I mentioned last week makes total sense. So we're starting to see a lot of these albums that were mentioned on New Music Friday make their impact. So we'll get into the top 10 albums here and see if any of them are ones that we had went over in New Music Friday. Number 10, we have Error Rang by BTS. Last week, this album was number 11. It's peaked at number 1 and been on the Billboard 200 for 13 weeks. At number 9, we have The Art of Loving by Olivia Dean. Last week, this was number 10. It's peaked at number 3 and been on the charts for 38 weeks. At number 8, we have One Thing at a Time by Morgan Wallen. Last week, this was number 9. It's peaked at number 1 and been on the charts for 172 weeks. Number 7, we have Number Ones by Michael Jackson. Last week, this was number 8. It's peaked at number 6 and been on the charts for 242 weeks. At number 6, we have Thriller by Michael Jackson. Last week, this was number 6. It's peaked at number 1 and been on this list an amazing 723 weeks. Number 5, we have The Great Divide by Noah Kahan. Last week, this was number 4. It's peaked at number 1 and been on the Billboard 200 for 8 weeks. At number 4, we have I'm the Problem by Morgan Wallen. Last week, this was the number 3 album. It's peaked at number 1, and it's been on the charts for 57 weeks. Number 3, we have Dandelion by Ella Langley. Last week, this was number 2. It's peaked at number 1 and been on the charts for 10 weeks. Number 2, and finally getting knocked out of that number 1 spot after holding it practically the whole time that we've been going through the Billboard 200, dropping down 1 spot, is Iceman by Drake. Last week this was number 1. It obviously peaked at number 1 and has been on this charts for 5 weeks now. So now your number 1 album, which is a new album, and it's probably no surprise considering that she had so many top songs in the top 10 of the Billboard Hot 100. It's Olivia Rodrigo with You Seem Pretty Sad for a Girl So in Love. So that is your number 1 album, and as I said, the new number 1 album for this week. As I mentioned, she held so many songs on the top 10 albums list that it was really no surprise that she was going to take over that number 1 spot with an album. So there it is, your Billboard Hot 100 Top 10 and your Billboard 200 Top 10 for the week of June 27th of 2026. Thank you for tuning in. Please like and subscribe, follow, whatever you need to do there. I really appreciate it. Until next time, I'm Gibbs. This is Gibbs Drops the Needle. Stay safe and be kind.